Hey everyone, I know this is my hand is talking now, I guess we go like this, maybe? Imagine googly eyes? I don't know. Either way, I am sick, hence the reason my face is not on screen right now, but I wanted to do a video about formatting because I am currently going back into my book, Dark Pine, Tales of Terror, and fixing some things, so why not use this as the best time to talk about formatting your own book, because I am an indie author and I have gone the self-publishing route. So, this is my book. Published it last year, Dark Pine Tales of Terror, and today I am going in and fixing some things. Mostly the spaces after the paragraphs, because most traditional books don't have that, even though it does make it a lot easier to read. And I might actually keep that in mind for a series of books that I might call easy reads, that are a bit more accessible to read and have a sans serif font and that spacing after. But for now, I'm doing that minor fix and fixing a very, very, very minor grammatical error. But I have gone into the manuscript, and right now I'm just doing a tilde check, because sometimes you will see dividers for like chunks of time when it's been a long space of time between scenes. Sometimes people add dividers. Sometimes it's a tilde, sometimes it's like 3 dots, sometimes it's little pictures. Right now I'm just doing a little check. But while I'm doing that, let's talk about formatting a book. Because I use Word, everyone does things differently. Some people use programs like Vellum. I think Scrivener is something else that does formatting for you. I do everything in Word. So let's get into my setup. Okay, and I had a whole thing already recorded, but we're gonna have to do this in smaller chunks because my phone yelled at me. So, to format, I typically start off with the page size. Now, you may notice this side is bigger than this side. That would be the gutter margin. It's a bit more obvious on here because I'm used to having my navigation pane set up like this. I usually have it so it's down to 2 pages. That way it's from the page, back of the page, from the page, back of the page. Each of these 2 pages together creates one physical page. Hence the reason the gutter, which is the center of the book, that is where everything meets. So if the gutter isn't set up properly, it can look like the book is basically swallowing the words. Usually when I'm just starting a project, I don't have that already set up. I usually set that up afterwards, but for the most part, I will start off with the page size. This is 5 by 8. I typically just go into here, set the size, set the margins. Now this is custom margins. To start off, I usually go either moderate or narrow, depending on the story, but this says custom margins mostly because it maintains the margins you choose, but then you can choose mirror margins, which is when you then go into the gutter, which if you look very carefully, these little dots, so let's bump that up a bit to make it more noticeable. That is the middle of the book. That is what's causing that. But I'll usually start off with page size, margins, then font. I usually go by size 12, unless it's going to be a longer book and I'm sure it's going to be a longer book, then I'll go size 11, set this to justified. You know, the alignment you always look at in school and wonder, why are you ever going to need that? This is why you're going to need it. This will usually be automatically set. So this will usually say remove space after paragraph. So if I do that, or not, okay. But I mean, this is literally what I'm what I changed. So it won't have those spaces after each paragraph. That's literally what it means. But you'll click to remove that. I usually go for the 1.15 line spacing. For me, that works fine. But that's basically how I set things up since I use Word. I don't use programs like Scrivener or Vellum. But that's usually how I set things up. And one more thing, because I completely forgot to mention this since my phone was being a pain and struggling to even let me get my videos to my Google Drive. Something else you want to do is set your indent, and that's the start of each paragraph. You don't want to use the tab key. The tab key is a no-no. That creates what's typically called a harsh indent. So I usually just go in a few lines for mine. To set the indent, you move the top arrow on the little hourglass shape at the top, like little ruler thing. Yeah. That you want to move over just a few lines. That'll be the paragraph indent. Again, you don't want to use the tab key. The tab key is a no-no. It's tempting. It is very tempting. But that is a no-no. Just thought I would throw that in there. So that's pretty much what I do for most of my docs. I set them up with the page size I want to end up publishing in, and set all of the things like the justified alignment and everything up right at the start. I save the gutter margins for last. Don't worry about that until the end. Or if you're like me and you like to print out physical copies for edits, because I find it easier to edit longer stints of text in physical copies, I'll usually use Lulu Publishing to print a physical copy of my book out, and I will occasionally set up the gutter margin just to do that. But typically you can wait to the end to do that. But this is how I set up the main manuscript. The front matter, that is a whole separate monster. I can cover that in a different video. But for the main manuscript itself, this is typically what I do. Now, I know I just said front matter. Front matter is basically like the title page, all the stuff you see at the beginning of the book, but the front of the book. So everything before that first chapter, or even before the introduction or prologue, whatever the book has, before those first actual page numbers, all of that with like the title page, copyright, all that fun stuff, that is the front matter. I'll usually do that in a separate doc, and then save both as a PDF and merge them together into one for my book. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. If you want me to go more in depth on how I set things up to print or how I do cover art, because I will be making more covers soon, especially with the hardcover edition of Dark Pine in the works and a few other books I'm working on. I will happily make more videos on that. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you guys in our next videos. Bye.